Hello everyone! In Elite Dangerous, the Thargoids have been attacking for months. They have been laying waste to a string of stations leading towards the bubble, and I recently found out about this. I've been away from the game for a little while. I knew they'd been doing some attacking, but I found out that you can evacuate citizens from stations in need. It was a bit of a hard time trying to find resources on what exactly that means and what you can do to help. I wanted to see if I could help, so I streamed last night, and I wanted to put together from that footage a short video to say what you can do to help evacuate citizens in need from stations that have been attacked by Thargoids. I'm Boater. Let's play something. The Thargoids have been attacking on a line of stations stabbing straight towards the bubble. Most stations towards the back are currently repairing themselves, and they can use regular shipments of materials that they list in Galnet that you can find and bring to them in order to get something going. As I speak right now, Obsidian Orbital is being repaired with a very concerted effort and getting pretty close to done. But as of the moment, or at least when I was playing a couple days ago, there were two stations that had just been attacked and were still working on evacuating citizens. Now, keeping in mind that, number one, what stations these are going to change over time as the Thargoids continue their attack. And number two, 3.0 just dropped, so things might be a little bit different. But this is accurate as of the day before 3.0 came out and should still give you a pretty good idea of how to go about things. I've taken my Beluga liner, the Mohawk Valley. I've taken out all the business class cabins and filled them with economy class. I have kept my shields intact, but I ended up turning off all of my weapons and such. You'll see why in a moment, but heat management, we'll get to that. 2 megameters out from the station, there's a rescue ship, and here you can take care of some things that you might have forgotten on your way out here, because this is still a little ways out of the bubble, although if you're around Seoul, then it's a 10, 15 jumps maybe. If you're on the edge of the bubble, it's a bit closer. They're getting pretty close. One thing you should also equip is heat sinks. I had one on the way out there, but I decided to fill the rest of my uh, emplacements with heat sinks as well. Again, we'll get into why in just a moment. So make sure that you're loaded up with passenger containers. I got rid of all of my cargo bays, which may or may not have been a good idea, but again, I'll get to that. So when you're all set, you're at the station, be ready to go. Now note that this rescue ship only has one large pad for landing. So a couple points there was lines waiting to get back. I made friends with an Anaconda pilot, and I myself was in the Beluga. If you're flying a medium ship, you shouldn't have any trouble docking at these rescue ships. If you're a large one, which is going to be able to carry more people at once, you might have to wait in line. Be courteous, offload your passengers, do any restock if you need to, and then get going. But make sure that you are fully equipped before heading out. The stations themselves, you drop in and there's a broadcast.
Attention, Commander. This is Federal Flight Control. This station is undergoing emergency evac. If you do not intend to assist in the rescue effort, do not attempt to land.
They've shut down everything but the passenger lounge to get people out of there. So you request docking as normal. They give you a spot, and you start making your way in. And as soon as you pass through the slot, the station is on fire and your heat starts spiking. This is why I disabled any extraneous modules that I wasn't using, mostly my weapons, but also my SRV bay and things like that. People have said that if you get rid of your shields, then your heat doesn't spike as much. However, I would keep shields because there is still debris in the station, and it could definitely help save your life. Get in, land. As soon as you hit the landing pad, there's some sort of connection, and your core temperature starts coming back down. If you are starting to spike, then that is helpful. But you may still want to drop a heat sink even as you're approaching the pad just to be safe, because your ability to keep track of your heat goes away as soon as the landing monitor comes up. You land it on the pad, you go in, Start loading up on passengers. I personally started going with the biggest groups first, and then working my way down because a party of seven can get a ship, can get berthing on any old T6 or something like that. Whereas a big ship like mine, I was taking 20 people parties. Make sure if you got rid of your cargo racks that they are not going to try to give you commodities as a reward. My first time back, I realized that I couldn't turn some of them in because they wanted to give me commodities and I had zero cargo room. I ended up having to swap a couple of passenger cabins out for cargo racks, and the only cargo racks for sale at the station were 2-ton cargo racks, even though I had space for larger. So it was quite a pain. Make sure that you're not taking any missions where they want to give you commodities, or if you are, make sure that you have a cargo rack so that you can take that up there. You can then sell these commodities right back at the rescue ship. Load back up, be ready to go. As soon as you hit launch, like there is no returning to the station, sitting on the pad and then ready to launch. You only hit launch, and as soon as you start going forward, even though you're still on the pad, your heat starts spiking. I dumped a heat sink as soon as I lifted off from the pad. I made my way out of the station, and you make your way to the rescue ship. This corridor between station and rescue ship is going to be crowded. If you're playing in open, there are going to be a lot of people here. Be mindful of that. There were no collisions while I was playing, but when I mentioned following out the Anaconda pilot, there was definitely mass disruption. So had to steer away from him a bit so that we weren't disrupting each other and keeping ourselves from getting to frame shift. Get back to the rescue ship, wait in line if necessary, offload all the passengers, get off that pad if you're using the large pad so that someone else can take it and more passengers can get offloaded, and then do it again. I'm going to guess, around 6 successful trips, it might have been 5, uh, and offloaded around 100 people each time. I decided at the end that I was going to do this all in one go instead of pre-edited, and the last trip of the night ended up being a fatal trip. I had my shields up, but I got knocked around by debris a couple different times, and unfortunately, I was hit by debris exiting through the mail slot in a beluga liner where, again, I was telling people I was coming in and out and making sure that the way was clear. I was hit, I was stuck in the grill, and unfortunately, I panicked a bit because I didn't want to get shot down. I didn't even know if that would be a thing. I've heard it might be. And I ended up getting destroyed, losing the lives of 100 civilians. Although, if the pilot has escape pods, and we know that there are escape pods in the passenger cabins, then role playing wise, hopefully they all get picked up by someone. I believe that there are loose escape pods around the station, inside the station, if you're braver, if you want to go and do that. But this is for the simple bulk passenger evacuation. It was quite a adventure, and it was something that felt good to do in universe. I wasn't doing it for money, and yeah, I got a few 100,000 credits, maybe up to 1 million by the end of it all. At the end of the run, it's not good money over time, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it to save lives. So that was a video that, of course, lasted a little longer than I expected, but is going over uh, what it means and how you can evacuate citizens from there. I will not be doing that any longer. After rebuying the Beluga, I no longer have the money to fly either of my large ships to do that kind of thing. I need to get my funds back up there. But you know what they say: don't fly if you don't have rebuy. Um, and I can't do that right now in anything dangerous like this. And make no mistake, that is dangerous. I was getting complacent, and then I got hit 2 or 3 times by debris, and that was it. Um, Make sure you're staying stocked up on your heat sinks, um, and be ready for anything. I was interdicted by an NPC on the way into the station the first time, on my way to the rescue ship, so you never know what's going to happen. Um, So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe. You can watch live at twitch.tv/boaterbug. Leave a comment down below. Follow me on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.com/boaterbug. Support at Patreon and Ko-fi.com/boaterbug. Thank you for watching. Uh, Good luck out there. saving civilians, and have fun. Bye, guys.